What is up, guys? This is Chase Oliver 68 here, bringing you another video. This video is a response to DalyxmanI. I want professional wrestling to be fun again. DalyxmanI proved some very good points on here. In this video, he kind of talked about how he wishes he could go outside and talk about professional wrestling, and people know what it is and don't say it's fake. Now, let me tell you guys kind of my story about professional wrestling and how I got into it a little bit. It was the year 2000. I finally moved back in with my parents. My mom and my dad wanted me to live with my grandpa and grandma and kind of get a better education at the school there. Didn't work out as planned, so I moved back in with my parents. I lived there for a long time. In fact, I still do. But I lived in the city called Thousand Oaks for a long time, and I watched professional wrestling. I had friends who watched professional wrestling. I got the news broken to me in 2004 how professional wrestling is scripted, fake, fixed, whatever you want to call it, by my freaking Mrs. fucking Haber. Piece of shit. But anyways, I got that news broken to me in 2003 after Kane buried Undertaker. That is why I cannot watch Survivor Series 2003 without thinking of that stupid bitch, Mrs. Haber. But besides that fact, I've been watching wrestling for a while. I just been getting into it a lot. I loved wrestling in 2007. I joined a forum which I'm now a head administrator of pwmforums.com. Link in the description down below. Check it out, man. Guys, please go join that forum, post in the discussion. I would love you very, very much. But besides that, I just been getting into I just love wrestling. So many people, my friends, know I am a wrestling fan. Many of my friends do accept the fact wrestling fan. It's not like I go up to them and talk about wrestling all the time. I'll bring up certain wrestling stuff to them. Like, some kids used to watch wrestling, but how many people did find out I was a wrestling fan? It was WEC. I forgot the number. This was an MMA event. I had my friend Alex come over to watch this, but he came over way late. He came over for the replay, and he saw that it had WrestleMania 22 on DVD. And he said, "Wow, I remember watching this event." I'm like, "Oh, do you want to watch it instead of watch this?" Because the fights were getting pretty boring, especially it was me second time seeing the event. He was like, "Yeah, why not?" So me, my dad, and him watched WrestleMania 22 together, and we watched it. And the next day at football, he told a bunch of guys that I was watching professional wrestling, and I talked to one of the kids who just got back into professional wrestling, and people didn't look at me weird. They just said, "Hey, he likes professional wrestling. It's his business." I threw a WrestleMania party this year. I threw a Money in the Bank party this year. I've thrown a lot of parties. I brought one of my best friends back into wrestling. He was actually the one who got me into wrestling more than my family. But I got him into wrestling back into wrestling with SummerSlam. I took him to SummerSlam. That was a fun experience. I love professional wrestling. There's nothing wrong with it. No matter what's going on in TNA, no matter what's going on in WWE, I'll watch it. Now, some people may say, if you love wrestling, why don't you ever cover Ring of Honor or PWG? Why don't you do TNA reviews? Why don't you do SmackDown reviews? How come you don't do this? How come you don't do that? Let me tell you something. I'm a college student, and this is the truth. I focus on my life a lot. I love my life. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a peaceful life. You guys may call me a weirdo, but when I wake up every morning, I put in music that is relaxing, and I meditate just to think how beautiful life is going to be in the morning. And I go out and do my life. I drive to school, I work out, and then I sit down and I watch what I enjoy, either in football, wrestling, whatever it is that certain type of day. Now, when it comes down to professional wrestling, it's fun to watch it's fun to watch all the time, but I can't just do everything at once. I cannot do everything because of time restraints. Why I don't watch ROH? First off, I do not know when ROH comes on the internet. I don't know how to watch ROH shows. I watch the ROH Video Wire, but you can only get so much from that it's really hard to follow the product. I don't watch it because I don't get it on my TV. I don't get to watch ROH, and I can't find the IPPV start time. I'm just not into ROH. That's just my personal preference. Some people are, some people aren't, and I'll respect those guys. You can like ROH. I'm not gonna hate you. Not gonna call you a faggot, but it's those ROH fans, like the Lexman mentioned in this video, that make you hate yourself because you don't watch this product, or hate you because you don't watch it, or make you feel like you suck because you don't watch it. And really, if you like ROH, go right ahead, watch it. If you like ROH, that's your preference. If you hate WWE, that's your preference. If you hate TNA, that's your preference. Now, when it comes to TNA, people may think, Chase, do you not like TNA because we saw your Bound for Glory review and you didn't like what happened there? What was that about? Listen, TNA, let me tell you something. I've been watching that shit since 2002. I saw it on my freaking, God, what was it? Adelphia? Who remembers fucking Adelphia? Fucking shitty cable network. But I saw it on Adelphia on like fucking Fox Sports, whatever. And I was watching that shit back in the Asylum days, dude. That was a shit back then. I was watching that. I was enjoying every minute of it. It was something awesome to see. Was TNA. It was something different from WWE. I love TNA. I've been watching it since that time, and ever since, I just been a TNA fan. Just because I don't do reviews on it now, let me tell you something. TNA, it's kind of rough right now. I'm not gonna lie. It's not the best right now, but it could be better. It could improve. Maybe there's something missing that can't get me into TNA. But the reason why I don't review TNA or sometimes review the pay-per-views is either this. I'll forget sometimes because TNA barely promotes their pay-per-views, and when I mean barely, you have to go to the TNA website to know what's going on with that company half the time, which is I find kind of weird to run a company. But besides that, you have to go to the TNA website to find out when the pay-per-views are, or someone will have to remind me. Yeah, I'll watch the pay-per-view, but sometimes I don't know the storyline, so I don't want to go on here and be like, oh, the match was good, the advancement of the storyline. I don't know what I'm talking about if I don't know the whole storyline. I didn't watch TNA for a little bit after when James Storm won the title because I was kind of mad that Robert Roode didn't win the title. I'm a Robert Roode nut hugger, Mark, whatever you want to fucking call me. I was very pissed off because I wanted Robert Roode to win the title. Heard Roode won the title, gave TNA a break, and now I'm watching again. But the thing is, Thursday nights, I like watching Thursday Night Football. There's other TV shows on. Or I just feel like studying or doing homework or doing other things. I don't feel like watching TNA Thursday nights. So what I do Friday mornings is I watch TNA. And I don't feel like before work to do a Friday morning Impact review because I don't see the point of it because there's other people on here like the British Bitch and Off the Rope Show who could give you a 10 times better TNA review than I could. Because I probably could not review a TNA show. I started doing TNA reviews and I kept on getting dislikes. I kept getting people like the TNA marks hating on me because I didn't like certain aspects of the show. My subscribers did not like when I did TNA reviews, so why should I keep doing them if people are not going to like them? If you guys want me to do TNA reviews, I can fit through my schedule. I can find time. I can do it late in the Thursday night. Just post comment down below if you want to do TNA review. Why I don't do SmackDown reviews? This should be obvious. I'm an 18-year-old boy, man, whatever you want to call me. I'm an 18-year-old man/boy. What do you think I'll do on Friday nights? You think I sit at home? No. I go out and I enjoy myself. Long days of college, long days of work. I go out and I enjoy myself. And then afterwards, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, whenever there's downtime, there's no college football on, I go to my DVR, watch on my big screen Friday Night SmackDown, and I sit back and I just relax and enjoy it. And I just sit back and I see what's going on. So that way I know what I'm talking about when I talk about SmackDown feuds. That's why sometimes you don't see me review certain shows, is because I can't find time to review certain shows. Not every, person on YouTube makes a SmackDown review. It's just certain people how they work. I just can't find the time management. But if you guys want me to do SmackDown reviews and you guys care, post down below, because you know why I'm on here? It's wrestling fans that support what I do. It's wrestling fans that respect what I do. It's wrestling fans who argue my opinions and respect me as a shooter. That's why I do this. There's not a lot of wrestling fans out there in the world, which sucks. And the Lexman mentioned a good point. The only time wrestlers get into tabloids, and I just want to add one point in it, I think kind of forgot to mention it, is when a wrestler dies, which is fucked up in my opinion, or when a celebrity with a big name is participating in a certain wrestling event. That's the only one thing I want to add to that, because when Snooki went to WrestleMania, I remember fucking NBC News is like Snooki entering the ring, and I'm like, oh, cool, wrestling. That's the only time you'll see wrestling in the news. Or if you do watch your local news station, like I have KCal9, when SummerSlam was in town, they did interviews with guys like Rey Mysterio and The Miz. That's the only time you will see certain aspects of wrestling, is if it's your local news channel, like CM Punk did in Chicago when he did the Weathercast, or when Randy Orton, I believe, was in Tennessee, I want to say St. Louis or something. I forgot. He went to I think it was Texas actually. He went to a local news station and promoted a show which was happening tonight on Raw. That's the only time you'll see certain aspects of professional wrestling, and it's kind of sad because I remember watching back in the day, and when Mike Tyson, when I saw on the Stone Cold DVD, when Mike Tyson was going to professional wrestling, it was like, wow. The news was covering this and talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin. When Stone Cold won the title, it was a big deal. People were talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin. When Dennis Rodman and Carl Malone, was it? Or who was it for the WCW? Sorry guys, this is a late video being made, and I just want to make this video because I loved what the DalyxmanI did in this video, and it just got inspired me to make a video right now. I'm sorry. But, Carl Malone, I believe it was, when they had a match, that was all over the newspaper ads. I remember watching that in the Rise and Fall of WCW. People were talking about that. Even when Floyd Mayweather was appearing at WrestleMania 24, I remember that was a huge focal point for WrestleMania 24. Yeah, WrestleMania 24 did shit buys, but people were talking about it on the news at least because it was a huge subject, especially in HBO. They were kind of bashing Floyd half the time, but besides that fact, a lot of stuff in wrestling, it just doesn't get talked about. And it's not because the product is bad, it's just there's nothing fun about it sometimes. There's nothing great about wrestling half the time. I'm not saying wrestling totally sucks, but it's kind of right now. It's kind of at the steady focal point where it's like it'll have one big change, like CM Punk or Daniel Bryan winning the title, and then that change will slowly go down, and it goes back to that straight line. It's just like a heartbeat. It's like beep, 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 like a slow heart beating. And there's not, it's not like in the Golden Era, where it's like dee, 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 where your heart was stable, or dee, 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 where the heart was going crazy. It's just this slow beep where beep, where it's just kind of like wrestling's dead in the mainstream. And I miss the times when wrestling could be talked about. The reason why I joined YouTube was to meet wrestling fans, because like I said, there's not a lot of people out there. I'll talk to my friends saying what's going on in wrestling. There's some friends who used to watch wrestling, and they'll talk to me about it sometimes to get in the loop. I don't act as smarky or whatever you want to call it in these videos like I do normally with my friends, because I don't want to come off as a complete idiot. Half the time my friends watch these videos and they don't understand what the fuck I'm saying, because they don't understand my thought process on wrestling. They just watch it because they want me to go into those little modes where I laugh out some certain stuff or get really pissed off like this, especially when it comes to Mrs. Haber. Fuck Mrs. Haber. But besides Mrs. Haber being a bitch and all, professional wrestling is something I love, and I wish wrestling was fun again. I'm with DalyxmanI on this. Certain people, yeah, they can be too critical. I can be too critical on wrestling sometimes. I'll admit that. I can be a total jackass on certain aspects of wrestling, but I don't feel like sometimes I'm wrong with it. People can disagree with that, but I like to get my voices on here, my voice heard on here. I don't like to be the same old robot where I watch someone's review and copy and paste what they said and put it in my review. I like to give my thoughts. Now, many people say, oh, you're just a wannabe select daddy. You're a wannabe person, blah, blah, blah. Well, sorry that my thought process and sometimes certain people educate me and certain people I like give me certain thought processes and I say what they say. Sorry that I have similar thought processes. It's not that hard. I mean, one person even said, oh, your Raw review just sounds like the Off the Rope Show's Raw review. Well, considering the fact that I post my Raw review probably an hour before theirs and then theirs gets out, how am I copying what Schleg Daddy's saying when my Raw review is right here, and their raw review is an hour later. I don't know how am I copying and pasting what he's saying when I'm getting it out there before him. It's just my thought process, and sometimes me and Shug Daddy do have the same thought process. Sometimes me and Mr. Rao have the same thought process. Sometimes certain wrestling shooters like DalyxmanI, Ace, Joe, Mitch, all those other good shooters out there, Kuda, Chris, Wrestling Guy, have the same thought process I do. It's just how you are as a fan, and I'm not saying change your thought process as a fan. You are entitled to your right to be who you are as a fan. Sometimes I can admit I get douchebaggy about certain fans in professional wrestling, but overall I feel like I'm wrong for that. So if I ever was like that to you guys, I am personally sorry for being a douchebag to you as a friend. I guess as a friend, but as a fan, it's who you like. I just hate when fans try to change my thought process, my opinions on a certain wrestler or a certain subject in wrestling. It's what I believe in, it's what I strongly support. That is just my personal opinion. That's just my personal thought process. It is something that I cherish and love. That is all. That is my true thoughts and love of professional wrestling. Will I be watching Raw tonight? Hell yeah, I'll be watching Raw tonight. Will I be watching SmackDown on my Saturday afternoons? Hell yeah. Will I be watching my TNA Friday morning? Yes, I love professional wrestling. Nothing's going to change. I can't be critical. I can't be a douchebag. But I'm just asking you guys. If you guys want me to do TNA reviews, Friday Night SmackDown reviews, if you guys want me to start up doing Q&A again, and I will start doing a Q&A again. If you guys want to see something on this channel, just ask me. And I'll gladly do it. Because if I get enough fan support to do it, I will do it. Because why? Because I love the people on here. I love wrestling fans. And I love people who respect others' opinions no matter what. DalyxmanI made a great video. Go check that out before you check out this video. Please do. Understand where I'm coming from with this video. Subscribe up above if you haven't. Comment down below your thoughts on professional wrestling. Comment down your thoughts on what's going on in wrestling. Comment down who you are as a fan. Comment down if you want me to do SmackDown, Impact, Q&As. Hell, comment down below anything. Give me a big old thumbs up. Give DalyxmanI a thumbs up. Favorite that video, DalyxmanI, because I know I did. I favorited that video. Great video. It is long. This video is long. But hey, maybe it'll be the best 45 minutes of your life. 50 minutes, 80 minutes. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a great minute of your life where you understand where certain fans come from when they give their opinions. Understand certain fans and how they feel about wrestling. And understand what is going on in their brain. This is Chase Oliver 68. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace, y'all.